Alexa, could you play the Learn, Develop, Live podcast?
Here's motivation and inspiration from Learn, Develop, Live with Chris Jaggs from TuneIn.
From London, England, where the Queen lives.
Recorded live from an underground bunker and packaged into an MP3 with a pretty little picture. Helping to kickstart your day with the motivation and inspiration you need 365 days a year. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. And this is your host, Chris Jaggs.
Good morning! My name is Chris Jaggs, and this is the Learn, Develop, Live weekly podcast. How is your Monday going so far? Or maybe you're listening to this on a completely different day. Ooh. Whenever you listen to this, thanks for downloading. Now, can I be honest with you right now? You're great. The fact that you're here, I just appreciate you. Now, can I give you a little clap to say thank you? Hang on now. Thank you. The episode this week is inspired by those little buzzy friends of ours, honeybees. Now, there was a TV show I saw last week which had a random fact about bees. And this was according to all the known laws of aviation, there is no way that a bee should be able to fly. Its body is just way too big for its wings. But it still managed to get itself off the ground and fly around so much. Now the bee, of course, flies anywhere. Because bees don't care what humans think is possible. Honeybees just don't care. They just go and do what they want to do, and that is something that really should be admired. Now, before we fly off into this, let's have some messages and get right into it.
Start your LDL adventure today and book your free 30-minute LDL power call over at ldlcall.com. It's time to stop whatever is holding you back and start to level up today.
Hello? Hello there, folks. We're mighty glad to have you with us.
Learn, develop, live. Learn, develop, live. The perfect start to the day.
Welcome back to the LDL podcast. Let's talk about honeybees, and shall we? And why they're relevant to a motivational podcast. Now, first up, the fact that bees just go out and fly, despite the world of aviation saying they shouldn't, is just one example of not caring about the opinion of others and just following what they actually want to do. But other than being a complete rebel to the world, bees are incredibly important and definitely one of the most important contributors to the planet. Have you ever wondered where all the food that you eat actually comes from? Well, it might surprise you that a significant proportion is provided by bees one way or another. If you look at the plate of food on the dinner table, bees have played their part in either pollinating the many vegetables and fruits we eat directly or pollinating the food for animals that we then consume. And that's not all bees do for us. Honey and wax are two other important products that come courtesy of the bees. The bad news is that honeybees are disappearing globally at an alarming rate due to pesticides, parasites, disease and habitat loss. If these little insects that help provide so much of the food we eat were to vanish, what would we do without them? Often seen buzzing from flower to flower, it's as difficult to imagine a life without bees as it is to envisage one without trees. These hard-working winged little invertebrates have been around for millions of years, pollinating our plants and producing the sweet golden syrup we call honey. So why are bees so important, and why is this episode about the little buzzy ones? Well, to many, they are simply the fuzzy flying insects that we see darting amongst the flowers during the warmer months. Bees are actually so much more than this, and have an important part to play in maintaining our planet. Where trees and woods are essential to filter our air, bees are vital to both pollinate the food we need to survive, and pollinate many of the trees and flowers that provide habitats for wildlife. If we were to break down some numbers, you can see the true effect and work that bees actually do every single year. It's estimated that a third of all food is dependent on pollination that the bees do daily. Bees pollinate 70 types of crops and make 6,000 tons of honey every single year, as well as contributing £400 million to the economy. A colony alone can contain around 50,000 bees and makes on average 14 kilograms of honey alone. So we definitely know that bees do a lot around the world. But what does surprise people is that if bees die, people die too. A bit extreme? Well, maybe, but maybe it's actually true. Because of what bees do year after year, the pollination of plants which starts a cycle of events that ends when you have those veggies or fruit on your plate. The best example of the bees die, people die theory is demonstrated really well in a 2007 animated movie, Bee Movie. Now, if you've seen it, you know what I'm going to say. But if not, give it a go. I think it's on Netflix at the moment. Now, spoiler alert here, this is the story. It features a bee freshly graduated from the college named Barry B. Benson, who decided that making honey wasn't the job that he wanted, and who finds out that humans actually steal and eat honey after talking to a human named Vanessa Bloom. He then goes on to sue humans in a decidedly short lawsuit, which the bees win, and honey for humans becomes illegal. So we start with the moral stresses of stealing and eating honey from bees. Many people have made the conscious choice to become vegan, which may or may not have been influenced by the Bee Movie. Veganism, briefly described, is when someone abstracts from animal-made products, so not just meat, but things made by animals as well, such as honey and milk. In the film, since honey is no longer necessary, bees no longer made it. Without bees pollinating plants, things started to die quickly, and within months, almost all the plant life was nearly extinct. After a few months of taking time off after his successful lawsuit, Barry B. Benson left the hive he lived in to visit Vanessa Bloom, who informed him about the plant life dying, which Barry was unaware of until then. Barry once again decided to initiate a change. Vanessa was preparing to attend an annual flower festival where almost all of the last flowers would be gathered for a few days before they were to die as well. She then tells Barry about her plans and the festival. He decides that may be the only opportunity to save much of the plant life. Barry B. Benson returns to his hive and informs the bees about the famine that they've actually caused. They decide to go to a flower festival and pollinate essentially everything. Doing so leads to much of the plant life becoming rejuvenated and able to reproduce more easily than ever before. After this, honey is no longer banned for humans and the bees return to work. The main message of Bee Movie is that without bees, the world will eventually end. Without plants, animals won't be able to eat. Without plants or animals, we won't be able to eat. Yes, it's a pretty bold statement, but after watching the movie, many people actually thought that the film exaggerated the consequences. The belief is that bees mostly pollinate flowers and only have a small effect on other plant life. But, as the Bee Movie correctly points out, bees have a much larger impact on the environment than people would originally expected. Evidently, bees pollinate 70 of the top 100 crop species that feed 90% of the world. The Bee Movie helps an entire generation learn about how vital bees are to the ecosystem, and that without them, we'd be in serious trouble. It's estimated that if there are no bees in the world, the human population will be finished in 4 years. Yes, just 4 years. The point of telling you all this is simple. You're important, no matter your size. Whether you're short or tall, skinny or overweight, you're important. You matter and the world is very lucky to have you. Fact. If a single fuzzy, buzzy little bee can contribute so much to the world, what is stopping you? There are 7.7 billion people in the world and you are one of them. You're important and you matter. Your thoughts, words and actions send a ripple effect out into the world around you. That ripple affects people and things, some you're not even aware about. So whether you know it or not, you have the potential to contribute real value to the world around you. Now, in this sense, you can not only change yourself, but you can also change the world to a better place. Being alive in this world makes you important itself because life is a miracle. If you think about the very, very beginning of life, there were millions of sperm cells who were on a journey to an egg. And you were the winner! Congratulations. You won something before you even got started. You are here to fulfill a purpose. Maybe you don't know what it is yet, but keep looking. You'll find it soon. Find your interests, hone your skills, let your expertise help someone else out there in the world. You are here to make someone feel loved and to be loved yourself, to share life experiences of what this world truly has to offer. You are in an incredible world full of opportunities with so much on offer. The hard part is just getting yourself going and finding them. Whatever it is you want to do, just go and do it. You're an important part of this universe. It just so happens that right now you have that chance. If you need a little extra help with achieving your goal, maybe even just getting started, you can book your free LDL Power Call over at ldlcall.com. 30 minutes dedicated to you, and you can discuss how you can take your dream or your vision to the next level and make it a real thing. Let's look after the bees out in the world just like they look after us. Now that is all from me. I'll be back tomorrow with more, so you look after yourself, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.
The Learn, Develop, Live podcast, trying to help you understand this crazy world we live in.
I'm already confused.
Goodbye.
What? It's over already?
All over.
Thank you for listening to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. I hope you feel as warm, motivated, and fuzzy inside as I do. You can connect with Chris at LearnDevelopLive.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
I won't say goodbye. I'll just say until we meet again.
Until next time, join the motivation. Motivation.